thrilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fanrun Radio.
Oh, it's absolutely outstanding. Kentucky's in town on Saturday. Hey, listen, I'll tell you what we are. We focused here. You say what you want to say about us, but we're going to laser focus on that deal now. Because that Kentucky bunch, I'll tell you what Tennessee's not going to do. They're not going to let them up, or are they? You know how crazy this series has been? Like, we win up there, they win here. What we see in college hoops, what's real, what isn't. Houston, we got a little problem. We got us a little problem here, Houston. Now, some of you are pony players. With your pony pal Pokey, too. That's Gumby, by the way. But some of you are pony players. And my pony players know that night in and night out in college hoops, man, there are some weird things that we see, okay? And sometimes you wonder, what's real, what's not. By the way, those of you watching our presentation today, I got my sun lamp on in here. I've been having, like, my January mood. And so I'm trying to help myself. I'm trying to help me, help you, help us, help we, and we'll see how that goes. But that's why my lighting looks funny. I sit here today, and sometimes I just wonder, like last night, I'm watching that game, and I'm going, okay. And I'm not saying the LSU game last night was fixed. But what I am saying is, I'm watching that ball game last night, and I'm going, you can't let this guy catch this ball here, right? I mean, you've blown an 18-point lead. Our local boy is coaching. LSU. It's a good story. McMahon, and they had a booster step up and give them a bunch of money and, this, that, and the other. And they got a $3 million player right now that's sitting the bench because his father won't let him play because he has a hangnail. And 'tis the season to be the season. And that's the era of college sports we're living in. Got the program, been there, done that. Hey, how about this? We have a lot to talk about today, by the way. Breaking news out of the city of brotherly love. It just broke in the last hour. You'll be hearing all about this as we go today. But I want you to ask yourself something, okay? It's kind of like, I always say, why is it the Latin kids that always get caught in the banned for 75 games, banned for 100 games? Baseball. If you watch it, it's the Latin guys get busted a whole bunch, the Latin American guys. Whatever. This breaking news today, this is David Purdom reporting for ESPN. I'll read. You follow along. Larry Vaught going to join here in a little bit. Kentucky wiggled off. Kentucky. Hey, Brian, what was Kentucky's league record finna be last night if LSU didn't blow an 18-point lead? What was it finna be, Brian?
They were going to drop to 1-3.
And they were dead in the water.
Tied for the bottom of the league
They
so
were
far.
going to have. They were literally going to have, and I kid you not, they were literally going to have about 100 fans here on Saturday. Now they'll have about 500. The game was 18-3 with like, I don't know, 5.5 minutes into the game. I have it at the top of the blog. 20 men have been charged with point-shaving schemes involving more than 39 college basketball players. That's 39 college basketball players on 17 Division I teams, leading to more than 29 games being fixed, according to a federal indictment unsealed Thursday in Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Now, here's my question for you. If they've caught 39 teams, how much it, or if they've caught 29 games being fixed over the last couple seasons is what this is, how many games are really being rigged? How many games are really being rigged? "15 defendants played college basketball during 23-24 and or 24-25, according to the indictment. Two of the players indicted, Hunter and Short, I can't pronounce their last names. They got very difficult to pronounce. Sedekwavius and Didaquavian. I don't know. They were sanctioned in November by the NCAA for fixing Nolan's games. We knew about that. 4 of the players charged: Simeon Cottle, Carlos Hart, Camion Shell, Omar Kodesiri, some European name I can't pronounce, have played for their current teams in the past week. So these are guys on the floor right now. Schools named in the indictment. This is where it's fun. This has always been my contention down through the years, if you listen to me. My belief is there are so many college basketball games on a night-in, night-out basis that it's impossible to track this stuff. Think about this. If you have 330 Division I teams and you're taking action on those games, and most games there's action on if you go to any sports book and look, how can you possibly watch all that stuff? Well, legalized sports gambling, believe it or not, is both a blessing and a curse. The reason it's a blessing is I can catch you, because I can catch irregularities, versus the old days where I got to bet with a bookie and then I follow line movement and I can still kind of catch you. But these days I can track who placed the bet. I can track where that's coming from. I can track who's in on what. The state of Tennessee doesn't allow prop betting on colleges. I think some states do. I don't think that's a good idea. Here are the schools named in this deal. Abilene Christian. Brian, can you name me Abilene Christian's mascot?
No, but they wear purple and they beat Texas in the first round about 5 years ago.
Let's freaking go. Alabama State, Bri, who are they?
Are they the Hornets?
I don't know. Are you? The Buffalo, Coppin State, Bri. Who are the Coppin States? I remember when Fang Mitchell was there and they beat Coppin
State's in
B.J. Mackey's team. They're in Baltimore area.
Maryland?
That's right.
Okay, Maryland. I don't know their mascot, but they're in Maryland. I knew that.
What's left of the DePaul Blue Demons have been named in this thing, as if they needed anything else to happen up there in Chicago. Eastern Michigan, Fordham, Kennesaw State, my LaSalle Explorers. I own a LaSalle shirt. New Orleans, your Privateers. Nickel State, a couple of Louisiana schools. North Carolina A&T, who I believe Brian, is that a historically black college, an HBCU?
Yes, it is.
Northwestern State, which I believe is another Louisiana-based school. Is that correct, Bri?
Yeah, I think that's Ed Orgeron's alma mater, I believe.
Robert Morris, who has a win over Kentucky. By the way, Kentucky, you still might get Robert Morris. They beat you in the NIT one year. Cal went and played the game. I respect the hell out of that for Cal going up there and playing the game. St. Louis, the Billikens, Southern Miss, Tom Marine, what's up, and Tulane. So these are all what I would call bottom of the barrel or close to it basketball schools. St. Louis has been pretty good, and St. Louis pretty good this year. But for the most part, most of these are what you would call poor schools playing at the bottom of the sport. And what it reminds me of is that tennis fixing scandal that occurred several years ago where lower division matches were being fixed. Why? Because those people in the lower divisions, that is an absolute... Now, the great Ben Testerman here in town has been such an advocate of tennis, and I love Ben. Ben, what's up? Those lower divisions, man, it's a slog out there. It's a slog out there playing. You want to go out and bet on yourself, make a little extra money, go for it. You want to go out there and bet against yourself and make a little extra spending money, go for it. The problem and the curse with the age we live in is the good thing is I can catch you. I catch irregularities now. That's how that Bohannon guy in Alabama got caught. You know, it wasn't his first bet, but it was the next one. You know, I got a line on you. I don't think that's the right melody to that song, but that's there's a tune called I Got a Line on You. That's what we're doing here. How many games, and I've often wondered this aloud down through the years, how many games night in and night out in college hoops, especially when the lower division kids, you know what they see? They see Nate Ament making $4 million, and they're going, hey, man, I'm putting in the same time they are. They're just at Tennessee, Vanderbilt, South Carolina. You know what's crazy? Because I'm a Temple basketball fan. There was a kid that that left Temple who went down to Virginia Tech. I say down, but down from him, down for his purposes. Went to Virginia Tech to play for Mike Young. I don't think Virginia Tech let the kid play last year. He's not named in this, which is really strange. The other thing, and then Larry Vaught's going to join us because then we're going to preview this Kentucky deal. We'll talk about the quarterback situation. We'll talk about all this stuff. We have a lot of stuff to get into. You know, it'd be really funny on the quarterback deal is if the Vols had some guy we've never heard of and he's a straight baller. How in keeping with the Heupel theme would that be? Like if they just sort of, I was thinking about it overnight, they take somebody like way off the scrap heap and they grab him and he just becomes a revelation. He becomes a revelation. The funny thing about this whole thing here is, and Brian will like this part of it, the scheme, according to a 70-page document, began around September of 2022 and was initially focused on game fixing in the Chinese Basketball Association, Brian, the CBA. The group later targeted college basketball games, offering bribes to college players ranging from 10 to 30 grand to compromise games for betting purposes, according to the indictment. Again, I see Nate Ament making $4 million. I see this guy getting $1 million. I see that guy getting 100. Maybe somebody that played in my league, they go up a level and they get a couple $100 grand, whatever it is. I want mine. I completely get that. Now, I'm not going to fix a game. I'm not getting involved in that. I don't want to go to jail. But I kind of get it. And look, I was born in 1966. I grew up watching the NBA when you kids wouldn't recognize it. In the 70s, it was a broke league. It was a drugged out league. There was the ABA and the NBA dragging each other into whatever they were dragging each other into, and it was a total mess, professional basketball. But I used to, even as a kid, I would wonder night in and night out, what's stopping these guys from fixing these games? And the answer really is, if you're pretty good at it and you're pretty careful with it, you can shave a point or two here or there. Who's going to know? I mean, Brian, did that look real last night when LSU let that kid catch that ball, turn and shoot and score? I'm not saying it was fixed, but I'm saying, how could you tell that? That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. They missed 2 foul shots with 1.5 seconds left. 94 feet away from their basket with a 1-point lead and lost.
It was Christian Laettner in reverse is what that was, except the stakes weren't quite as high, but it reminded me of that play years and years ago.
Now, this is pretty next level. So, the Dickens, you say, at quarterback. We've got people in the room debating over Dickens right now. The Dickens, you say. Somebody says he has a cannon for an arm. Another guy says he has a noodle arm. The Dickens, you say, as Jed Clampett once said. So, Bri, the Chinese Basketball Association, any idea, isn't that where Yao Ming came from? And was Jeremy Lin, or he's American, right? Or has there been any other Chinese players, Bri, that have played in the game, played in the league?
I can't think of any, but the guy that played over there was a former LSU player who helped manipulate games for those two guys. One game, I think he scored 20 points below his average and they lost.
What?
They got blown out or something.
So
he only scored 11 points when he was averaging maybe 25. Something? And they profited off that. So then
so he
started helping them.
You could say he was the Wee Too Low of that league at that point.
Yes, probably.
Because off the backboard, he was doing the bang and the ding and the ow. As we take a brief time out and come back with, what were the other?
Totally Fook and something Wong.
And that will make you say, because something was Wong when that happened.
Something Wong.
Something was Wong. When they noticed a guy who averaged 30 scoring 11, something was Wong, and that tripped them. And see, that's what I'm talking about. If you're careful, they don't catch you. When you're averaging 30 and you score 11 and then they trace a bet back to you, something Wong, and you're going to call your attorney and he's going to look at you and he's going to say, holy Fook. But we're going to come back on the other side. And I'm of the belief that this kind of thing, and I could be wrong, but I'm of the belief down through the years in college basketball, this kind of thing has gone on. I'm of the belief that we've seen games that guys are shaving points in. I do think, and I know you think I'm crazy, I do think legalized sports gambling in a way is a curse, because for a lot of kids now, I can get a guy down the hall to make a bet for me on my phone. That's not good. That's no bueno. That's going on. Okay, I acknowledge it. I'm going to readily acknowledge that. The other thing is, though, that you get caught. Whereas back in the day, it was a little harder to get caught. So hopefully this helps people. We'll take a brief timeout, and we'll continue with more on the other side after this. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marco Scarza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Start the new year with comfort and savings from Pipe Wrench Home Services. Tired of high energy bills and constant heating and AC repairs? Ready for a more efficient home? There's never been a better time to upgrade your comfort and take control of your energy costs. Upgrade your HVAC system now with Pipe Wrench Home Services and make no payments until 2027. A new energy efficient system means lower bills, fewer breakdowns, and peace of mind for years to come. And with Pipe Wrench Home Services same-day service guarantee, you won't wait to start enjoying a more comfortable home. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Upgrade your HVAC system now with Pipe Wrench Home Services and make no payments until 2027. Schedule your free estimate today at pipewrench.com. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer good with approved credit. Some restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, person, Johnson City, and anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience, Alumni Hall. I got to hand it to LSU because Larry Vaught's going to join us, and I love Larry. He breaks it down scientifically for us and moves right to left across your device. But, the truth is that college basketball, depending on your perspective, can be either really fun to watch, really maddening, maybe all the above, silly and goofy, precise and great, world-class athletes on display, or some really silly stuff going on. Last night's Kentucky-LSU game had it all. Now, I got to tell you, the first 6 or 7 minutes of that basketball game when Kentucky was down 18-3, Larry Vaught, you have Vaught's Views, and I welcome you back, my friend. So great to talk with you. You and I were just talking off the air about the gambling scandal, which is why we had a few seconds of dead air. But, Larry, that game last night, I mean, Kentucky looked, and they were 1-2 coming into that game. They played with a sense of urgency in that first half like they had not slept in 3 days.
That might be being kind. It was just god awful. As I was telling you, it's the worst half of Kentucky basketball I can remember since Billy Gillespie's first year in 2008 when they got 11 points in the first half at Vanderbilt, and he made Josh Harrelson sit in the bathroom stall at halftime because he played like poop, and then made him ride home with the managers instead of with the team. But this performance, the first half, was every bit on par with that. It was just terrible.
And I'm of the belief that, I look at that Kentucky squad and I say they have got to be better. I mean, they've spent a ton of money, but they're Exhibit A, and we're seeing this now with Indiana and some of these other schools, because there are schools that have spent a lot of money in college football and not getting that return. And Kentucky's that Exhibit A in college hoops, that just because you spend the money doesn't necessarily mean you see it on the floor. It has to fit together. And somehow Larry just hasn't fit for them to this point, right?
No, it hadn't. Part of it has been injuries, I think. They've had so many guys in and out of the lineup. But the biggest part of it has just been effort and lack of any kind of connection between players and players or players and coaches. It seems like the effort's not been great with the players. It seems like the players don't know exactly what the coach wants. At times, Mark Pope is a little clueless, not only coaching, but when he tries to explain what has happened. I mean, it just makes no sense how things have been. A guy that I think is a really smart guy, and I've always thought was a really good coach, but some of the things he's done this year just have not made sense, and they get off to such horrible starts every game. I mean, the only positive last night was they didn't fall behind by 20 like they have 6 other times this year. They only got to 18 before they started coming back, but you just can't live like that and hope to win very often. I mean, they're just lucky that LSU's the worst team in the league.
Oh, boy.
And they were able to come back against them, but I don't think there's anybody else they could do that, and I'm not buying in that saved Kentucky's season. I think it prolonged Kentucky's season because they lost last night. I think it was over. Now, at least it's maybe prolonged for another week, and we'll see what happens.
It's so well put, right? Like, you want to think, and I kind of lurk and look at these Kentucky boards, and you're not fooling these people, right? So, like, after last night, they're like, that didn't fix anything. We're still a total mess. We've lost our guard. We've got to figure out a way to do this. But they, in a lot of ways, they did show some fight. And this Tennessee-Kentucky series, and this Tennessee team is so weird, too, that in the last several years, Kentucky's come into this building and won. Let me ask you this. How many Kentucky fans do you think we see in our building? Because I don't sense a lot of buy-in from Kentucky Nation. In fact, I think they're repelled by this basketball team, the way they play, and they're not identifying with it at all. The high-priced nature of it, and just the way those guys just don't play together. I sense Kentucky fans are repelled by this team, repulsed by this team, if I may.
Yeah, I think there's an awful lot of fans that are not happy at all with this team, and unless they bought tickets way before the season started and were excited and just figured they bought the tickets, they're coming anyway.
Yep.
I think it'll be a fairly small crowd, because the last couple of years there's not been huge crowds at Tennessee. Even on the two times that Kentucky somehow won as a double-digit underdog, and I didn't think they had a chance either time, but
Yep.
I didn't count on Rick Barnes letting his team shoot 43-pointers like they did the one year.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do that again and try to keep Kentucky in the game and go 4 for 40 or whatever it was they went. But I don't think there'll be a big turnout of the blue, because they had a big turnout in Nashville and they stunk against Gonzaga. They've had big turnouts in other places. They just haven't played very well. So I think people are not going to be real anxious. Snows in the forecast a little bit. So I think a lot of fans will just be sitting at home thinking, I'm going to watch the first half, see how it goes. If it goes like I think, I'm going to turn it off.
It's indicative kind of the strange year it's been so far in the SEC, and Kentucky almost walked out of there 1-3 last night, but they won the game. So what happened in the second half for them that they weren't doing in the first half, besides scoring a little bit? Did somebody in your mind wake up? Did they find something last night?
Well, they went from Denzel Aberdeen looking like you and I could play a better point guard than him in the first half, to where he suddenly not only scored 17 points, but he actually kind of ran some offense for them, and that helped. But the biggest thing was just their energy level. They've had so many games where it looks like they're just kind of sleepwalking for periods of time. In the second half, their energy just from the beginning, what you could argue maybe it's because they made their first 2 or 3 3-point shots or whatever, but I don't know. But whatever it was, that energy got lifted way, way higher than what it had been. Then they kind of got the pace of the game going a little bit, and they played better. And even with that, even with scoring 53 points in the second half, though, still needed a miracle finish to win at LSU, which hadn't won a game. So let's not kid ourselves and think they just suddenly found the magic tonic in the second half, because they didn't. They just were lucky they were playing LSU that kind of collapsed down the stretch. But and again, Malachi Marino hit a great shot. Not taking that from him,
Great shot.
But still, Kentucky, they just can't continue to play that way, where they have so many long periods where they just can't score. And that's been every game they've lost. That's pretty much been the scenario.
As we talk about this Kentucky bunch, the thing that I think really illustrates the struggles for them is that Missouri game, where 2 points in the final 4, whatever it is, 4 minutes and change, and really just look totally disorganized in the last minute on both ends, allow Missouri to convert and take the lead in their building, Larry. Those things are not supposed to happen. And here's the thing about Mark Pope, because I told you last year, from a Tennessee perspective, I appreciate Mark Pope, because in an era of mercenary coaches who get up there and say, I really care about the tradition of the school, and then, when they leave a pile of the garments that they wore during their time at that school over in the corner, and whatever else they might take a few trinkets with them down the line. But Mark Pope is not that way. But man, Mark Pope why does he feel so in over his head this year? It's after last season. It's so strange.
Yeah, it really is. Because last year it seemed like every button he pushed was the right button. My theory is that he's never coached a team with so many good players. And he's tried to worry so much about what to do for every individual player instead of just trying at times maybe worry about what just to do for the team. If that makes some guys mad, you just have to do it. And maybe paychecks comes into that too. I don't know that part of the equation. But I know in the summer when I did an interview with Mark, and I asked him, I said, hey, how are you going to handle having so many guys that all think they're going to play? I said, there's not 5 guys that signed up to sit at the end of the bench for you. They think they're all going to play. And I said, I know your 96 team, Rick Pitino, handled that well, But that doesn't always work. And he said, "Oh, it'll be fine. It all figures itself out. Everybody's here for this and that." And I'm thinking,
No.
that's not going to work. These guys, they all want to be the guy that starts and plays 30 minutes, then let that other guy be the one that plays 6. So I just think they've had chemistry and disconnect issues with Mark because of that, because of what they thought they were going to be doing with a lot of them hadn't been what they have been doing. And then when the season was being put together, he thought his best 2 players were going to be Jalen Lowe, the point guard, Jaden Quaintance, the center who was coming in at Arizona State off knee surgery.
Yeah.
Well, Lowe's out for the season after dislocating his shoulder 4 times. Quaintance has played a few games. Now he's been out the last 2, and it wouldn't shock me if he didn't play anymore. I mean, nobody is saying that, but I just don't know that I think he's going to be back with the way this team is going. Whether you won't think he's just better off making sure his rehab is great and go ahead and go to the draft. So those 2 guys, they've not got anything in it. Then Mo Diabate, who was supposed to be their bonus baby from Alabama, has just not played very well, and now he's kind of relegated to a 12, 13-minute a game guy. And when the season started, along with Otega Oweh, those are supposed to be the guys that carry you. And for 3 of them now, I mean, Mo Diabate, he may have played 10 minutes against Tennessee.
Isn't that
I mean,
wild?
because they are better when he's not playing.
How has that happened? Again, we're back to this. Things we thought
You,
were true about Kentucky before the year. Go ahead, Bri. I mean, it's just
You didn't
weird.
mention Brandon Garrison, I think, who sometimes doesn't look like he really wants to be there and doesn't look very happy to be there.
I think that's an accurate observation. I think Pope went way in thinking that he would have Otega Oweh, Brandon Garrison, Colin Chandler, and Trent Noah back from last year, and that all 4 of them would be way, way better. I don't think Otega could have been better. He was good last year,
Yep.
but Garrison definitely is not better. Noah seldom ever gets off the bench now, and Chandler has his moments, but overall he's not made any kind of huge jump. So there again, there's 3 guys you thought were going to be people you could really lean on, and they can't. And I think some of their high-priced free agents,
Yep.
you see why other schools weren't willing to empty the bank to keep them. Yeah, they were good pieces for what they were on some teams last year, but they weren't prominent pieces on those teams, and maybe they just aren't quite ready for that role, and that's what it's looked like at Kentucky.
Hey, Larry, you want a great number that C gave me last night, who's one of our guys that helps us here, and he's a real numbers guy, and this one floored me last night. And, Brian, I don't know if you were cognizant of this, but here we go. So Kentucky's beaten Tennessee 3 of 4 games in Thompson-Boling Arena, and a few of those games look like they literally were played in the Twilight Zone, like the way they went on. And then Tennessee was gone up there and beaten them, with semi-regularity as well. And a couple of those games literally were out of nowhere, okay? So what a weird series we have. What's even stranger is that in that time period, do you know how many Southeastern Conference Tennessee basketball games, since that stat's a thing, 3 of the last 4 years? Home games, the Vols have lost. Brian, care to guess how many home games Tennessee has lost during that time period since that little quirk of fate became a thing? Guess
Maybe 2.
2. They've lost 2 other home games, and Kentucky's beaten them 3 times in 4 years. They're the only team. They're like kryptonite. I don't know. And like Larry says, the weird thing is it's not like back in the day where they would have 4,000 or 5,000 people in our building and they're riding that emotion. And no, they go and play those games in front of a smattering of fans now. And it doesn't matter. And it's just so strange. Is that going to happen Saturday, Larry? Why do I get the feeling that that's going to happen Saturday? And is there a danger of that happening Saturday again?
Well, I keep saying no to you that I'm shocked on Saturday, and then Kentucky, or whatever day, and the Kentucky fans let me know, because 2 of those 3 games, I know Kentucky's been at least an 11-point underdog when they, in 1 year, I think they were 14-point underdog when they came and won, and they were not healthy in either of those years when they won as double-digit underdogs. I mean, I can't see any way that Kentucky's tough enough, physical enough, or good enough on offense to win at Tennessee. But then again, like as I said, I don't remember exactly what the total was, but it seemed like there's 43-point shots that Tennessee just fired away last year or whatever it was, and just kept missing. I can't imagine they'll do that again, but I really couldn't imagine they'd ever do it once. But I just don't see Kentucky. I mean, a team that was down 14 points to Mississippi State before rallying and winning. They were down 18 to LSU.
Yeah.
And they got blown out by Alabama. I just can't see them going into Knoxville and winning. But, again, I've said that for a couple of the last times, and they've gone in there and done that. But I just don't think this team has the guy that can stand in there and make that happen for them. Now, we will see. I know the Tennessee's had some ups and downs, too, but overall, they just look way, way better than Kentucky.
What's crazy, too, as Larry Vaught joins Vaught's Views, and I encourage you to check him out because people are commenting in our YouTube chat about what a good dude you are, Larry, when you're on here. His approach to sport is such a fun one. He celebrates sport. He celebrates multiple athletes up there at Kentucky. He does it with a sense of humor. He's not afraid to call balls and strikes on his own. He's not a big tribalism guy and hates the other fan bases, which, I'm just a guy who tries to celebrate what we're doing here. It's why Larry and I have always sort of gotten along down through the years. But I got people in our YouTube channel, Larry. It's very funny. Let's see, there's 250 people in here right now live, which is a pretty good number on YouTube, and several other thousand folks listening to us around the way in various forms. But, Larry, they're in here going, we're going to get run. We're going to get rolled over. We're going to get beat. You know the script. You're over here saying, Tony, I know this thing has been whack, as they once said in the hood back in the day. I know this thing has been a whack series, and it's been way off the rails, but hold the phone. This Kentucky team is not going to do this Saturday. That's kind of your take. First of all, they've lost their point guard. They lost their other second option that you were talking about, the transfer from Arizona. The kids that are left don't look tremendously invested. But then again, Larry, they came from 18 down last night. I'll give LSU credit, though, because they didn't defend at all in the second half. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they were trying to do. Larry, did they defend at all, LSU? I mean, when you were watching that last night, were you like, are they going to appear on the investigation list? I mean, what are they doing here?
Yeah, because I'm thinking, I don't see any great halftime adjustments that Kentucky made other than just LSU's not defending near as hard, and they're letting them just take open shots that they weren't letting them take in the first half. So, yeah, I don't know what they did either. It's just like they thought, I guess, the game was over, and they were just going to kind of coast in.
Yeah.
And all, because it was just a remarkable turnaround. But, and talking about Saturday's game, yeah, I just don't see any way it could happen. But I will tell you this, Tony, the only thing that would maybe give me a little bit of hope on the Kentucky side is no way did I see somebody that had started as left tackle for Tennessee 2 years in a row leaving to sign with Kentucky that's won 9 games in 2 years.
Yeah, he's a smart. You don't think he's out for the money, do you? Speaking of that football recruiting, Larry, I'm glad you brought that up because this transfer portal is really starting to urinate me off. But I think it's urinating off everybody in the SEC unless you're at Texas or Texas A&M. Maybe Texas Tech as well, if you want to throw them in there, and Indiana. Everybody else is every other fan base is like scratching their head going, what in the world's going on? Why did Kentucky throw away that Boley kid and just let him go when he's a local kid, and they went for that shiny object from Arizona State, who I didn't want the Vols to sign? I'm glad that he ended up at LSU. I didn't want that kid. First of all, I don't like that kid's attitude and all the stuff that comes with it. Secondly, he's borderline damaged goods. That Boley kid was such a great story at the end of the year. He's going to play really well at Arizona State. Why did Kentucky kind of bungle that, Larry, or didn't they bungle it? Is there something I'm missing?
Well, let me start off saying that I'm a little biased because I know the Boley family really well and known them since
I want the backstory.
He was in the 3rd grade, I guess. So,
good.
Yeah, I think they bungled it very poorly. I mean, you have to consider that Will Stein recruited Boley as hard as he could when he was the offense coordinator at Oregon, and Boley was playing high school football in Louisville. Joe Sloan, the new offensive coordinator at LSU, recruited Boley as hard as he could when he was at LSU. When when Will Stein gets the job, first call he makes, supposedly, but at least that's what first call he makes is to Boley and his family, say, hey, man, I'm so glad to be coming. Can't wait to work with you. You're the guy, this and that. Everything's going to be great. And then just suddenly, when he gets here, the offer they make to Boley, and again, he wasn't chasing money, but the offer they made seemed kind of low. And then all of a sudden, Boley's agent started getting calls from other people saying, hey, if you come here, here's what you're going to get. The next thing you know, Boley's got about 20 offers from other schools. Every one not only higher than Kentucky, but most of them substantially higher than what he was going to make if he stayed at Kentucky. So the message from Kentucky was, yeah, we'd like you to stay, but we're going to go get somebody, so you'll have to just compete, which translation means we're going to go get a starter, and you'll be back as a backup.
That's right. That's right.
Arizona State comes in, and I won't give away the details of that contract, but my gosh, I mean, he's so much better off at Arizona State, where he doesn't have to face SEC defenses every week, and the compensation he's getting. I mean, he would have been Dutch to have turned down. But I'm like you. Will Stein better hope the Minchie from Notre Dame hits, because if he flops like Brock Vandegrift did when he came from Georgia to Kentucky, Stein may not be around here a long time.
Well, and Heupel kind of did the same thing. Tennessee could have gone out and could have addressed their quarterback needs if they would have done it in a sane way. But they fell in love with the kid from Arizona. They had two guys they really loved, the kid from Arizona State and the kid from Cincinnati, who was going to go to Texas Tech or LSU the whole time, because those guys are setting the market, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Why in the world do these programs not understand that unless Kentucky was going to step up there and pay that kid $8 million a year, he was not going to play quarterback there. So let me lock Boley up, and we'll go worry about our other needs. And Tennessee's caught now. Tennessee doesn't have a quarterback. They're scrambling. They're talking about going into the 1AA ranks. Here's the thing, Larry, the thing that's crazy about that sport. Just because you go into the 1AA or D2 ranks doesn't mean a guy can't play. So, there is a thing as dumb lucky. You can get kind of dumb lucky. The guy at Indiana has gotten very lucky with a lot of guys, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But he's on a run. He's on a heater. He's probably going to win the national championship. Kentucky doing that with Boley. So essentially, to the fan listening, the uninitiated, and you can speak to this, Arizona State did not want that quarterback back. They did not. They were sick of him. They were sick of his antics. And it looked like Kentucky was going to trade them quarterbacks. And I guarantee at Arizona State they were going, we're glad we got this Boley kid, and we're glad we're rid of this headache. And that's what, and then the kid has become a headache to not only Kentucky, but also to Tennessee, because Tennessee could have had this Pribula, whatever his name is, who's now at Virginia, and I don't know how good he is, but at least he's a body. And it's just weird that these football coaches, man, are making fools of themselves.
Yeah, they are. What's really weird with the Boley deal, he's gone to Arizona State, and I don't know the exact rankings because I kind of give up, but I think they have signed 3 of the top 7 or so receivers in their transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky's begging anybody to come try to get a receiver in. They just haven't had any luck bringing in a big-time receiver to play for the quarterback from Notre Dame that they went in all in on instead of Boley, where Arizona State has gone out and got 3 of the top guys in the transfer portal, and you're kind of sitting there thinking, wow, this, kind of tells you something right there. But, again, it's just weird how things go. I think Kentucky's brought in 30 guys now in the transfer portal.
Wow.
And maybe they'll be good. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
Yeah. The transfer portal.
My feeling is, Tony, if they're leaving somewhere and somewhere didn't want them, there's probably a reason.
Again, because Kentucky can spin it that they stole Tennessee's starting offensive tackle on the blind side. The kid was going to lose that job. Here's the real story. The kid was going to lose that job, and he wanted more money. And Tennessee was already way overpaying him as it was for his production. And look, you know me, Larry. If they stole a player, I'd say, hey, man, they stole Tennessee's tackle.
Yeah.
but that's truer words have never been spoken. You wait till you get a load of this guy. He looks great, man, till he gets out there and he gets a quarterback killed. But he looks like a great. He looks good. I mean, he looks good on paper, and he looks good. And he was a 5-star out of high school. And I'm not saying he's not a talented guy, but that is true, man. A lot of times when you're playing around in the portal, you better damn know what you're doing. It's kind of like Kentucky hoops this year and Tennessee hoops this year, because I'm afraid both of us are covering college basketball teams this year that the parts don't fit like they have in years past, Larry. And that's a tough thing, man, in this portal world for both these sports.
Yeah, and I'm afraid we're going to see a lot of that going forward. And some guys, like I say, the Indiana football, some years you hit it, and it's going to be really good. Or maybe like Vanderbilt basketball this year, it's going to be. But a lot of years, there's going to be a lot of misses in there. And Kentucky just has parts that don't fit very well, and always don't play very hard together, which is kind of mind-boggling up here in Kentucky. But again, I think that's just kind of the sign of the times too.
Hey, Larry, on the way out, what happens? Give it to me. Call the shot here. Saturday, the world will be watching Saturday afternoon, and we'll be on with our Garza Law Tennessee basketball. What do we call that thing, Bri? It's not our fifth quarter. It's our basketball overtime. There you go. It's all running together for me, but it's all coming back to me at the same time. Larry, tell me what happens here. Larry Vaught.
Well, my guess is that Kentucky will fall behind early, so that's been a safe bet every game by a substantial margin, and that Tennessee won't let the off of them and quit playing defense and won't shoot 43-point shots, and Tennessee will win with a double-digit margin, which has been a pretty familiar case for what's happened to Kentucky basketball in the last year and a half.
Larry Vaught, I love you. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Tell the living listener all the things you're involved with so they can support what you do, because you are one of the truly, truly good eggs out there, man.
Well, I appreciate it. You can follow me on X at Vaught's Views, or you can check me out at my website, VaughtsViews.com.
Great guy. Larry, you're the best. Thanks, man.
All right, Tony.
I tell you why I love him, because he's like, look, Kentucky's team doesn't fit this year. We're going to take calls now till the rest of the till Snowmageddon happens. I love him because he's just like, look, I know the Boley family. They bungled that. I don't know what it is with this Levitt guy. He's such a shiny object. And he was not. They did not want him back at Arizona State. I am not dismissing LSU's quarterback. I'm not saying anything that I didn't write in that blog. See, that's the thing about what we do. I just try to call balls and strikes, right? Because here's the thing. Last week, and I thought about this when I was working on that blog. If you go back and look at that blog from like last Monday or Tuesday, when this guy first appears on Tennessee's radar, I'm debating. You know, what if Tennessee gets this guy and I write what I just found out from people, and I got on the phone. You know, I'm not afraid to work. Like John Adams was telling me, he goes, you know, Tony, you say a lot of things about you, but you're not afraid to put your head down and go for it, which I think is true. They didn't want him back. He was driving that Dillingham guy nuts. They did not want him back. Now, he might go to LSU, be a good soldier, ball out, be an MVP in the league twice, win a Heisman Trophy. I have no idea. They didn't want him back. Brian, when you watch that Boley kid, who's a local kid from Kentucky at the end of the year, did you think they would treat him like that? Who proved that he could play at the end of the year? What a weird turn of events that is.
I wonder if they had won one of their last two games, made a bowl game, maybe gone 6-6.
Yeah.
Maybe Stoops and Boley are back.
You know what,
Possibly.
Bri? Hey, Bri, what if Tennessee would have beaten Vanderbilt? Will we have made that change at defense?
Probably not.
Yeah. It's such a strange covering these sports. It's so fluid. It's so bizarre. There's so much money involved in it for some reason. And all those years they told us we wouldn't have the money to pay these kids because it's so expensive. And that money has always been there. It's always been there. And then we've got this Kentucky games. The thing about these sports is when the balls tip off, when the ball's kicked off in football, there's just nothing like it. When Tennessee and Kentucky play Saturday, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. We're going to celebrate that rivalry here and laugh about a win. We're going to enjoy ourselves Saturday while we're watching a little NFL football. That game tips at what time, Bri? Afternoon, right? Early noon?
It's a noon start.
Noon tip. So we'll be on about, after whichever official it is gets done marring the game, we'll be on about 2:45 with Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. As soon as the game's over. I just don't get, and I get the concept of a 2 at 10 and a 10 at 2, but I don't get what's so great about this Levitt guy. I must have missed something. Again, I'm not saying something that I didn't write when it looked like Tennessee had a really good, a chance at him, a puncher's chance anyway. They must have thought they had a great shot at him. The way they let Perbula, who I don't get him either. I don't get being involved with him. So maybe they didn't want him at all, and that was just window dressing. But they know they need a quarterback. They knew they needed a quarterback. And how they've arrived at this is beyond me now. The off-season theme is going to be, hey, George McIntyre always was our guy. When they have this press conference at the end of all this, these two guys are going to compete for the job, and this other guy they're going to bring, they're all going to compete. But the whole world knows that they were on the phone, fell in love with this guy from Arizona State that I just don't get. I just don't get that. And then they end up where they've ended up. So here's the thing. And this is the truth, okay? They might bring a guy in from 1AA and he lights it up. George McIntyre between now and next fall might take off like a rocket. This freshman might come in and be one of the more precocious freshmen we've seen and give you like Schaefer Range in 04. Literally in that sport right now, my mind is wide open because anything can happen. And you can't throw any of these seasons away. And I'm going to ask you this on the other side because we're going to talk about this. I talked to somebody today. I had 3 people I knew that were at this convention out in Vegas for the NCAA deal. And all these ADs are out there and the whole thing. So I had 3 different people I know in the industry who were there. And I talked to one of them last night and one today, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out, okay, what's going on. The deal is this. They're going to 16 teams. Now, it's all going to happen around that championship game. They're going to have all the ADs, it's this weekend. They're all going to get in a room, but they're going to 16 teams next year. This is my topic next hour. Should our expectation be that the Vols make a 16-team playoff next year? Is that your expectation? Or is your expectation that next year is just kind of a throwaway season? None of the seasons are throwaway seasons, but if you don't make a playoff in a 16-team format, that's a pretty... Bri, would you call that kind of a mediocre season here? Do we call that a mediocre season if you don't make a 16-team playoff?
Yeah, probably. Depending on some circumstances.
Yeah.
I'd have to see what the final roster is. I expect they ought to be in the mix in the picture for as playoff berth if it's 16 pretty much every year into the month of November.
The people I talked to that were at this convention just now expect that they're going to ratify a 16-team deal. Of course, the Big Ten has these crazy ideas that they have, but the people I talk to expect that it's going to go to 16. And the question is, when it does, do you expect to be in a playoff next year? 865-200-5402. Tennessee is among the top 12 spenders in the sport. They will have a highly paid payroll next year. That will be a highly paid. They fortified their defense. They're not done yet. I don't think they're done with their chase for a quarterback yet. The bell hasn't tolled on the portal yet. We'll see what happens there. They haven't. They're still going to add some more defensive players. I still think they're going to add to their offensive line. Do you expect to be in it? The first 16-team playoff. If you remember, and somebody brought this up yesterday, the 12-team playoff berth from a season and a half ago sort of came out of nowhere with a redshirt freshman quarterback. Do you expect to be in it? 865-200-5402. Again, 865-200-5402. It's hour number 2. Matt Dixon joins the fray. And we're going to continue on the other side as we break her down scientifically. Thank you to Larry Vaught. Great stuff. I'm sorry, that was wrong on my part, but that's good to hear. I love a little rock.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. It's quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-888-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols!
TB, back with you. People are saying in the YouTube chat that people on Sirius and people on Paul Feinbaum was saying he thinks he's going to stay at 12 next year. Listen, I'm not here to say. I don't pretend to know the answers. I'm telling you, I talked to people that are at that convention, and they believe it's going to go to 16. They believe they're going to meet this week, and that's what they're going to do. Some people are saying that the Big Ten's going to block it. Look, I know the Big Ten's Fatiti or whatever his name is. Petit, the guy's got some crazy ideas. I realize all that. But let's focus on this, okay? Because I started to wonder aloud about this yesterday, but And I was telling Matt and Bry off the air, I was talking to Blake Topmeyer about this the other day. He doesn't think the league is going to be better next year. Speaking of 2026, he's looking at what the league's added, what's currently on rosters. And Matt Dixon, welcome in, man. Hope you're well on this Thursday.
Yeah, doing all right.
Good, babe.
I don't know. There's a lot of coaching turnover in the league this year, so that's obviously going to affect it. You'll have a bunch of just unknowns, really.
Yep.
And I agree with. I don't know if you have that high end upside teams.
Yep.
Which we're missing this year, especially. I'm not sure you're going to have those next year either. Besides, can Texas be that? Obviously, you'll have Arch back, and they're buying a bunch of players. A&M was really good through 11 games, and then did their usual there at the end, as you like to point out. So Georgia will probably be up there, but I don't know how many true title contenders you have as opposed to just playoff contenders. I do think there's a distinction there.
Let's go through Tennessee's schedule because we got the time. And by the way, if you want to get in, 865-200-5402, we're wide open for you. If you want to jump in here on this Thursday and talk about this, Tennessee opens with Furman. That's a win. We like our bye games. I like them bought. I like them at the top of the schedule, and I like to get them out of the way, which is one of my favorite things about this 9-game schedule now. You get them out of the way. That's our season opener this year is September 5. That's nice. Then a really pivotal game at Georgia Tech on September 12. Justice Haynes, started Alabama, went to Michigan, pretty good back, is going to transfer to Georgia Tech, going to go back home to Atlanta and play. Georgia Tech's going to have a kid who was on their campus this year. He's a sophomore or redshirt freshman quarterback, essentially. Matt, and here we are, it's early. But when you look at that game, is that a win or a loss for the Vols? It's kind of silly to ask this, but we just look at that game.
Should be a win.
Yeah.
And Haynes King's gone.
Yep.
Buster Faulkner's in Gainesville now.
Yep.
Tennessee's had a couple of these ACC games early season the last couple of years, and we tried to talk ourselves into it being competitive, but they've been blowouts. When the time comes.
Now, I will say, of the ACC games, this is the most competently coached bunch we're going to see. Roster-wise, we really don't know what they are, but he's a hell of a coach. He's an alum there. They play a tough brand of football. They're not going to back down from you. They're going to do what they do, and they're going to do it well. And I got a lot of respect for him. But I agree with Matt. Kennesaw State on September 19. Is Jerry Mack still there? Or did he leave?
I believe he's still there.
Yeah. I thought he was going to leave. I thought he was
Georgia Tech and Kennesaw State are not even 10 miles apart there.
I thought he was going to get the
I think it was Memphis he was going to play
at one
for.
point. Yeah. And there was reports out there that, hey, Jerry Mack, and that's why this stuff's so hard to wade through. Okay.
And they got the Southern Miss coach instead.
So the Vols got a chance if they win that Georgia Tech game, and it's an if, that's a losable game. Because again, they're extremely well coached. They're going to do what they do. You're going to play in their little bandbox building. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and whomever our quarterback is, it's going to be an inexperienced quarterback versus an inexperienced quarterback, and God knows what's going to happen unless we pull a fish out of the fire and we find, somebody that's got some miles on the tires, and who knows. I'm still open to the fact that Tennessee goes through the spring, and maybe there's a grad transfer quarterback that lands in your lap in the spring. Anything can happen here. Or you can get a guy from 1AA, whatever. I don't know. But let's go to September 26th. So September 26th, is Texas, and this is the first SEC game. This is your SEC opener. This is going to be a real handful. This game here is going to be some of these games I look at in previous seasons, and I don't pencil in losses, I pen in a loss. I'm almost inclined to take a Sharpie and put that down as a loss, the way Texas has gone crazy in the transfer portal. Then again, this Arch Manning guy's been known to throw up a stinker or two. And it's do or die time for him. It's sort of now or never. Personally, I think Texas, on paper, has the best team in the league. I don't know what that gets you. I don't know what that gets you in modern college football, having the best team on paper in one of these leagues. Ohio State, I guess, had the best team on paper last year, and it didn't get them very far compared to their competition. Matt, when I look at that Texas game, I think if there is an elite team in the league, Texas might have the claim to be the elite team. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's between them and Georgia. Let's not forget, Texas was the preseason #1 team going into this season.
That's right.
And you had all the Arch hype, and he didn't live up to it early. A lot of it wasn't necessarily his doing because he had the offensive line was bad, but
awful.
I think he improved. So yeah, and they went out and got a bunch of skill position guys around him. So I think them and Georgia are kind of the top two teams, I think, in the league going into the season. So that'll be a tough game. You have the Arch Manning coming to Knoxville, Texas coming to Knoxville. I think there's a lot of similarities between Sarkisian and Heupel, both good and bad. I think that'll be a really hyped up game, a lot like the game at Oklahoma 2 years ago, which was, their first game in the league. There's a lot of, you had game day there, a lot of off the field stuff. And I think that'll be for that game as well when Texas comes here. And I'm not ready to make that a loss, but I think Texas will certainly be favored.
Texas hasn't played Tennessee in football since 1968.
Oh, it's so great, Brian.
Yep. WLN's had this one circled for 50 years, Brian.
Let me tell you
That's
something.
right.
No, 60,
He's got that old media
60
guy
years.
to prove it.
60 years, guys. 58 years to be exact. I'm going to shall I say, buttress myself for that one, but that's another story for another day. The thing about Texas is they went and added my favorite wide receiver out of the league, the kid from Auburn. I love him. And they also added the kid from Alabama last week. So they're going all in. They're going all in on this deal. Then you get kind of a curious game. You've got the protege and the teacher. And it's on October 3rd. And essentially, you're playing South Florida when you look at what the protege has done. The protege is following the model of Kurt Signetti at Indiana. I got a job. I'm gonna take my football team with me.
And you've got Tim Banks coaching safeties. Advantage Tennessee.
If Tennessee's going to have a representative football season, they've got to win that game. It will be one of my themes of the offseason. But just looking at what Blake Topmeyer was sharing with me this week, his belief in the league, which is it's not going to be better. Now, that's just it's just a thought. I mean, God knows when these teams hit the field, there will be unearthed superstars are going to show up. It's what's great about the game and the unknowns and all that stuff. But October 3rd, Tennessee at that point should be no less than 3-1. I think that'll probably be the number, 3-1. Well-oiled crowd for Comrade Golish's. You literally, Brian, that's the non-negotiable game of the year for me. Can't lose that game if you're going to have a representative football season here.
No, not
let alone
to
qualify for a 16-team playoff. If in fact we get a 16-team playoff.
Yeah, it
Right.
could be over if you lose back-to-back games.
All right, and so on October 10, Matt, is Arkansas better? They hired the guy from Memphis. It doesn't feel like they've gotten a lot of traction out of the portal. It feels like he's taking a lot of his players with him to play in the Southeastern Conference. And by the way, Memphis couldn't defend Arkansas at the end of last year, and Arkansas couldn't defend Memphis when they played each other. That's that looked like LSU's defense in the second half last night against Kentucky. No offense to LSU. Do you find them better, Matt?
Well, they went 2-10, and I think they ended the year on a 10-game losing streak. So it's hard for them to not be better, but they're not going to be better offensively. But that's a game. I mean, that's a game. Obviously, you should win. You mentioned Auburn and Arkansas. I mean, 4 of your 9 SEC opponents have first-year head coaches. So that should be an advantage to you, especially with these two games.
Yep.
To start with Auburn and Arkansas, those are games that you definitely should win.
I'm of they're non-negotiable games. Now they're on paper they look like daunting opponents because of we haven't been successful in that Arkansas series down there, and there have been some damn strange games. But I look at their roster, okay? I look at their roster and I go, okay, where are your players? Kind of like I'm looking at what Comrade Golish is doing at Auburn, and they're bleeding players. I don't sense that's a dangerous opponent right now. No, I don't know. That Brown kid could come in here and light up the world, but when I watched him at South Florida, depending on the day you caught him, man, he would yo-yo up and down. He would yo-yo up and down. Moving along. And then we got some super chats I want to get to, and we got some phone calls too. If you want to get in, 865-200-5402. Alabama on October 17. We had Kevin Skarbinski on the other day, and he said Alabama's not in panic mode, but they're getting there. They got their damn kingdom torn down by Indiana, and nobody does that to Alabama in a game that matters in any era. And they got their freaking kingdom tore down. Okay? They've got a coach that's going to come in on the hot seat. He's going to be in year 3. You could say, well, he playoff appearance. That's not, no. We celebrated, okay? Here. Josh Heupel's playoff appearance, and I still celebrated even though we got blown out by Ohio State because they were the best team in the tournament, and that's what happened to them. They stepped on the field and faced the best team in the tournament and got their damn kingdom torn down. We looked at that and said, you know what? That's a pretty good season. We made the playoffs. They looked at that and said, you just pissed me off royally. That's the truth. Now, we could say that's not the truth. That is the truth, and that's the difference. They've gone out in the portal, and they're bleeding players. They're not adding. They're bleeding. Matt, are they better? Is Alabama better?
I don't know they got to get better on their offensive line and with their running game to have any chance of being a truly any kind of title contender.
They exactly right. Now they're bringing in, and as Kevin told us, they were miffed that they thought they had it solved with Holly Weird Smothers. But Alabama's got another place now. And their place is, you don't have the dough. You had the dough in the old ways because, there were enough guys that had the coin ring on the head or the championship ring on the head. There was enough of those guys to put together to go buy somebody a house and a car. Which is what they did. I mean, let's get real. They don't have billionaires though. They don't have that Texas money. Texas flexed on them. Guys, was it A&M or Texas that flexed on them? Who stole that player from them? Who stole the...
I believe it was Texas. You're talking about Smothers?
Yeah. So, moving along, I don't think they're better.
That's a win.
I don't know if it's a win, Brian. I don't think they're better. I think we're talking about, is the SEC going to be better or worse next? They feel like they're not a better team on paper. Plus, they have a first-year quarterback. Somebody asked me yesterday, Tony, you say Tennessee's not tampering and blah, blah, blah. And listen, Ty Simpson wasn't welcome back there next year. They weren't going to take him back. They were ready to start a new era. It's truth. Moving along. And sometimes be careful what you wish for. Then the Vols, Matt, are at South Carolina. This is in your bailiwick. On October 24, I ask you, I'm not asking you what's going to happen in the game. Are they better year over year? Do you think South Carolina has made themselves better, Matt, so far?
They're probably about the same. I mean, they kept Lenore Sellers and Dylan Stewart, who are their two most talented players at key spots, but they probably overpaid for them. But no, they're not. They're probably about the same. They have so many holes just across both. I mean, their offensive line was maybe the worst in the league. They just don't have players,
and that could be a problem, especially by the time you get to them, because October 24 is the point in the schedule when it's bend but don't break time for everybody, because at that point you're getting to the last third of your schedule and the kids are starting to look around.
There was no Cocktober this year.
No Cocktober.
If you can get to November with just one loss, you're in the playoff discussion for 16, and you'll be in there through the month of November probably.
Yeah, you need to when Bama comes here, you need to only have one loss.
That's it. That's the trick.
That's kind of the goal.
Yep.
Because 10-2 is kind of your goal.
And it's semi-doable. I mean, I hate to say that. It's semi-doable because the problem is the check comes due in November, which is what Matt's alluding to. And here's the check. Kentucky on November 7 is here, and that's a win. Kentucky got played for a full. Arizona State gladly traded them that total headache of a quarterback and took Connor Boley off their hands. And Larry Vaught, in our last hour, Matt, said that Kentucky badly mismanaged that. The Stein guy called him up. We love you, we love you, we love you. Of course, he lied to him. Matt, I think the Boley kid was, for Kentucky's level of program, I think he's a perfectly fine quarterback for them. I don't understand what they were doing.
I don't either, because he grew up a Kentucky fan. He probably had zero interest of leaving. Would probably given them some kind of discount, whatever that would be, because Kentucky's obviously willing to spend, at least in that position. So no, I that was really odd that Stein gets that job and kind of runs off Boley, who flashed more than enough, I thought, last year to have a chance. So yeah, that was an odd move by Stein. Of course, I think it was odd for him just to take that job, to be honest.
Moving along. Yeah, the weirdest thing about the sport of football right now is Liam Cohen is a cause celeb in major college football right now, or in the NFL, and he was a coordinator at Kentucky a short while ago. I mean, it's the what's the term I'm looking for? It's just so fluid. It's just so fluid. Anyway, so that's a win in my mind. You lose that game, your coach gonna get fired. Generally, that's what happens around here. You lose to Kentucky, you're getting popped. I'm gonna say that out loud. They lose that game, this guy ain't gonna make it out of here. I don't care what happens next year. At Texas A&M, look, they got more money. They got more players. We ain't winning that game. And I'm not a big Texas A&M guy. You know that. I don't believe in their history. My one hope is that Texas A&M has a lot to play for. and they're having a really great season when we go there. That would augment your chances of winning that game. You saw how A&M handled the end of the season. Look, lost in their final 2 losses of the year is the fact that if you back it up 1 week, they were big time in the hole against South Carolina. See, that's lost in the translation. That South Carolina deal was a precursor of what was getting ready to happen to them. You know what I mean, Matt? They did not handle that well. They did not handle. They about A&M there down the stretch, Matt. They about A&M'd.
Well, they did big time.
Okay. Well,
I mean, think about how unfulfilling that season had to be for them. You start 11-0, then you get beat by Texas, where you just get thoroughly outplayed. I mean, it was a close game, but I mean, they just dominated you. And then you lose a home playoff game. You're the first team to ever lose at home in the playoffs.
Yep.
Oh, now granted, Miami kind of went on a heater since then, but like that was such a disappointing way to end. And I'm not willing to give that game up just yet. That's a really tough environment, a great trip if you can make it as a fan.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a tough game. You'll probably be underdogs in that one.
Here's the most interesting thing about doing a talk show. Okay. Josh Fall, 98, says, thinking any game is an auto L is loser mentality, completely neutered thinking. And then Brent right below him says, Tony selling hope today. Now, which is it, guys? Somebody help me out over here on YouTube, and we'll get to some of the super chatters here momentarily. At A&M's going to be very difficult. Here's the game that I think, and you couldn't draw this thing up any better. Here's the game that's going to be the most highly charged football game of the year. You know, in a weird way, it is not going to be Alabama in our building. It's going to be LSU. Alabama will not be the most supercharged game in our building this year, by far.
You have to split A&M and LSU if you're going to make the playoffs.
Well,
I think Texas is the most charged game of the year at home this year.
That's a good one, too. That's
Just
why the
because
schedule's so
it's that
great,
early
Matt.
season game.
Yep.
You'll still have some optimism.
Yep.
I mean, I guess Texas could even have a loss because I think they host Ohio State to start this
First and 10,
year,
let's do it
I think
again.
Texas will be the game that should be circled.
First and 10, let's do it again. The LSU game on the 21st, first of all, I don't know that they're better. They have done some Butch Jones recruiting here in the portal. Okay? Collecting quarterbacks like they're baseball cards. That's what they're doing. Collecting skill players like they're baseball cards. Matt, what was their problem last year? And this is what Topmeyer was telling me the other day. Because his job is to really keep up and mine day to day in this SEC. That's his gig.
And well, it was all systems failure on offense, and it started. They had just an atrocious offensive line.
Yep.
They were terrible, which led to a bad running game.
Yes.
Which put everything on Nussmeier, and he just couldn't handle it. I think he was hurt all year, and then he kind of got knocked out for the season.
They have zero offensive line.
They just had no offensive line. Their offensive line was as bad as the league had, besides South Carolina.
Look in the portal. Look who they've added. Look at their offensive line. I realize that On3 has them like number 1 or number 2 in the country, and it all sounds great. They have no offensive line. How are you going to, and a quarterback coming off a Liz Frank injury? Or
better have the Cajun Sullins twins down there in the wing.
That's the point. Hey, look, people are saying, well, Tony, are you saying we're going to beat them? No, I'm not saying that. They're saying, Tony, are you saying if I was going to make playoffs? I am not saying that. What I'm telling you is I don't know that the SEC is getting better in this transfer portal era. What I'm saying is the sport is kind of mystifying if you look at it. Texas has certainly gotten better. Texas A&M is certainly pretty damn good. Those are two teams I'm going to say are pretty damn good. But neither of them are known as what you call like super producers on the field, if you know what I mean. And so the LSU thing is so odd. And Vanderbilt, there's no way in hell they're better. And by the way, VD, what happened to you? Did we put penicillin in our YouTube chat room? Because we don't have VD today. There's no Vandy Daddy. No VD. Did Brian, was the white liquid?
Great call, not Brian. Great call.
I mean, let's go, Brian.
Well, let's see if I can chase another Vandy fan out of there.
He can buy himself flowers.
Let's clean house.
Those 6 Vandy fans were that were in Austin last night.
Talk trash on Vandy for hours. Say things VD doesn't understand. Come on, Brian. Let's go. That was a great call by you.
I nearly had 2 of them. LSU should have beat Kentucky.
No, you didn't know when to shut your mouth. Matt, what'd you think of LSU's wonderful effort last night? It was incredible, wasn't it?
I mean, God, you can't lose that. I feel so bad for Matt McMahon. You can't lose that game.
No, you got an 18.
I mean, it was like 18-3 at one point, about halfway. I remember telling my wife, because, I get worked up during these games, and she was trying to figure out why I was so invested. And I was like, LSU's only up 13. They should be up by 25.
Yeah, I saw the same thing.
Unfortunately, it came back to Bayonne. That was just a brutal way to lose. I mean, Kentucky was getting ready to have their season on the line Saturday.
Larry said
they were about to be 1-3 like Auburn in the league.
Larry Vaught's
stole a victory. That's disgusting.
Larry Vaught's view on it, and I love him because he calls it like it is. He said, look, at the end of the day, all that did is prolong their agony. Because Tennessee Saturday is going to put them out of their misery. Now, Brian, their number next to their name would have been what with that loss last night? 1-3, right?
Yeah, they'd have been 1-3 in the league, and they would have been tied for the bottom with, I think, 4 other teams.
We're going to make them 2-4 and put them right in last place when Saturday's over. At least we better. Because here's the other thing. We lose that game, we're not going to be laughing. We're going to be going, okay, what's going to happen to our ball club? We can't afford to lose home games. We just can't.
You've got to go on the road back-to-back to Alabama, Georgia. Alabama game in a week from Saturday, and then Georgia. So you have to you got to get the 3 home games.
Because if I'm calling shots, and I realized what Mississippi did last night, stole a game at Georgia, and if you haven't heard, the radio call from Mississippi last night is one of the great calls you'll hear in sports. I don't know who that play-by-play broadcaster is. They played it on ESPN this morning. I was eating my breakfast and watching it. God, what a great call! You talk about somebody on it and in the pocket. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey guys, Josh boy.
Wings.
Bronny, great call on Texas beating Vandy. That was a really good call by you, man.
Bronny boy knows his stuff, man. You know it?
Yeah, he does.
Yep. And Vandy Daddy, you can find him with us. He's hanging out with Florida today. You couldn't find him with a search warrant.
And if it wasn't for LSU blowing that, Bronny, you would have gone 2-0 clean sweep.
Yep.
Guys, so you all know I'm a Tennessee Titans fan.
I didn't know that. You're a Titan fan?
Yeah, you did. Tony, you don't play dumb.
I had no idea. Did you know that, Brian? That he was a Titan fan?
Well, your brain's
I figured he was a Braves/Falcons and Hawks fan. All Atlanta team.
Yeah, I thought you were an Atlanta fan, Josh. We didn't know. Seriously, Brian, I didn't know you were a Titan fan. I had no idea you were a Titan fan.
Bronny, you know I'm a Lakers fan, Braves fan, and a Titans fan.
No, we did not know that. You've
Hawks,
never
Falcons,
expressed.
Braves.
Yeah, you've never expressed that you're a Titan fan on here.
Okay.
But anyway, let me say this to you.
So my point is,
why would you say that my brain is fried?
Am I gonna be?
Hey, Brian, he told me my brain is fried half the time.
Well, you say that, Tony.
That's a good point. I do say that.
Am I going to be in misery for the rest of my life, or am I actually ever going to get to see my Titans get to a Super Bowl? Because I want to see Amy Adams Skunk make a decent hire and let whoever the head coach is make most of the roster control?
I do think the Titans have a pretty good GM right now. And I do think they had a really nice draft last draft. So if I'm a Titan fan, that would give me some hope. I don't think they have a Jimmy Haslam in their midst who is going to meddle. Like, Jimmy Haslam lets Andrew Berry take all the blame up there, but the Brown fans have kind of figured it out. Because Jimmy Haslam, if you go on like the Brown subreddit, that is some of the most comical reading you will ever read. I mean, these people have Jimmy Haslam pretty figured out.
Hey,
Jimmy's
Tom.
got to put his finger on every scale that he gets around. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Why didn't you guys go and get the Harbaugh and give him part ownership of your franchise and say, for the next 10 years, fix our deal here. I'm going to give you a piece of this thing. Just a small piece. A fraction of a piece, Josh.
Tone, that's the thing about Titans ownership. They don't want the head coach to have full control over the roster and everything.
I think you have a good GM, though. Do you think?
We do.
Do you think that what's his face is going to win with the Giants, Harbaugh?
I think he could if ownership lets him do what he wants.
What do you think, Bri? You're a fellow AFC. He's a fellow AFC guy with you, Bri. Should me, as an Eagle fan, all of a sudden look at the Giants differently, Bri?
Not right now, no. I don't think.
Hey, Tony,
I think they've got a massive rebuild coming up.
Yep.
Who advances Saturday, you think? Josh Allen and the Bills or Sean Payton and the Broncos?
Say it again, John.
I think Bills get it, unfortunately.
Who do you think wins, Tony, Bills or the Broncos Saturday?
Oh, the Bills are going to beat them. Broncos have been kind of wobbly here down the stretch. And the Bills are going to I think the two best teams in the AFC played last week in Jacksonville. That's my belief until I see otherwise.
Hey,
Man,
Dixon, what's
sick?
Yeah, Dixon, what's Kentucky like inside? Should we be able to get down low in the post with them and score on them Saturday, you think?
Yeah, Tennessee should have an advantage inside. They've got the Moreno kid who hit the game winner last night. It's pretty good.
Kid.
But the uber athletic guy didn't play.
Kid from Arizona.
The point guard's out for the year.
Yes.
They just don't have a good team. Right? Oweh's going to get his 15 to 20. But unless somebody else steps up, I mean, Tennessee's the better team and should win.
By the way,
that Kentucky team, if you took the Kentucky off the jerseys, that's an NIT team all the way.
Titans Bills phone wants Mike Tomlin from the bunch.
I could see that. They're set to interview McCarthy Saturday, town the Titans are. But Tony, I have something to say to Ridge Runner Sammy. Want to say, Sammy, I'm a little disappointed in you, and Tony, I know you encourage caller on caller heat, but Sammy, that was wrong of you to say not let Nega Dave and Mark and Columbus call in anymore. I'm extending my wing to you. I'm giving my wings for you to fly and make better decisions. Don't go after callers, Sammy, and say not to call in anymore.
Yeah, Joshy Boy's never gone after callers on here. Understand that. I mean, at least not in 2026 so far. Is that, Bri? Are we square on that? Joshy Boy's worried about caller. Here's a question. When you look at the SEC, is it better in football right now? You look at what people are doing in the portal. Is your expectation that, damn, this league's getting a lot better? Till and I'm kind of ashamed of this, but until it was brought to my attention, I hadn't really considered. I was talking it over with C last night, and he said, you know what? That's a great point. It does not feel like in the portal era that this league is getting better. Now, I don't know why that is. I don't know if there are just other players who have emerged who have kind of scattered the pieces that much more, but it does if you just get your mind together, as the great Jimi Hendrix once said. You know, if 6 turns out to be 9, I'm not going to mind. You know? Because at one point I looked at Tennessee's schedule and I thought, they're going to win 6 games. But if 6 turns out to be 9, I'm not going to mind. You know? 865-200-5402. You know, because if it is 6, the broom is going to be drearily sweeping the pieces of the Heupel tenure. And I don't want that to happen. Take a brief time out. We come back with more. See what else is in the wind. I want to talk to you. As we continue, it is your Thursday edition after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow, I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called the Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and of course, go Vols!
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local. Eat good.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. In hour number 3, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to talk about one of the super chatters asked best guess on the Vol quarterback. I'm gonna share that with you coming up. My best guess for the fall, because that's all this is. In other words, who gets the ball? And I think this year it could be who gets the ball, who ends up with the ball. I think it could be one of those years. But I'll share that with you. I'll share what I think my sense of this is. And obviously, I don't think they know. So it's just going to be all speculation. But it's fun to think about. And then we got Kentucky in town on Saturday, which is just great. There's just nothing like that series. And I think about the late, great Keith Hatfield and people like him down through the years and down through the generations, and this border war we have with them. And I don't think these are two of the best additions of our two clubs. I don't think we have one of our best teams of this year, and they certainly don't. And I just think it's so fascinating. And then we go back to our phones. Matt, that thing that C gave me last night, that during the time where we've lost 3 of the 4 home games to them. During that stretch, we've lost only 2 other SEC basketball games in our building. Is that crazy? Is that just nuts, Matt, how crazy this has been?
Yeah. Last couple of games against Kentucky here, you've